Here's the truth. You haven't lost your life force. It's not gone. Just because you feel exhausted or worn out or like your body can't balance or nothing ever works in your body, your life force is not gone. It's just been buried. And the thing is that I know this because I can feel it in people every single day. When I'm working with them virtually, when I'm working with them in person, I can feel their true chi. I can feel their life force. It's there, sometimes under a lot of layers, but it's there and it's waiting for you. That's the other thing. It's truly waiting for you. And I know this because I felt it, but let me give you a way to understand it. So I'm reading a novel. Funny enough, a novel gave me a way to give you another view of this. And it's a novel where people are practicing what they call alchemy. And it's not the same as the Chinese medicine alchemy that I practice and study, but it's alchemy nonetheless. And there's a moment in this story where a teacher is trying to help a student learn how to do a transformation of water to ice by using just their focus in their hands. And the student is struggling a lot with this transformation. And the teacher places a hand on the student's chest and encourages the students, they call it the soul, but think like the trueness of them to come forward. And the teacher says to the student, I can call it forward, but it will only respond to you. I cannot make it do anything. You're the one that has to do that. And this is true of healing alchemy also. Despite what a lot of people say out there who claim that they can clear you of illnesses, they can make this happen, they can make it's not the way it works. Your true chi, your soul, the essence of you, the divine essence of you, it is of you. So you are the only one that it will respond to. And that's a key piece in how change actually works, is that you learn how to have a relationship with that. And this is so key because what's actually happening for so many people is that they have no relationship with their infinite potentiality, which is what your essence, your true you, the true chi of you, that soul essence, it's the infinite potentiality. So many of us have no relationship with that because our world has no relationship with that. And instead, we have a deep and profound relationship with pathology. That's where most people are stuck. And the advertising world is making bank off of that stuckness because we're so attached to the diagnosis and all the problems of the diagnosis and all the potential problems of the diagnosis, or what that means and how it identifies us. And I see this in every gamut. In autoimmune, it's the like necessity or certainty that you're just going to fail. In menopause, it's all the things. So you're going to get the menopausal tendinopathy. You're going to get a bad heart. You're going to get weak bones. You're going to gain weight. Your metabolism is going to slow. And guess what? None of that has to be true. But it does depend on what are you relating to. Is your relationship being built in accordance with a relationship with the pathology? In which case, all of those problems actually have to come true because they're verifying your hypothesis. Or you could have a relationship with the truth of you, that infinite capacity of you. And in that truth, there are solutions for every one of those challenges, and they could come through you. And they actually won't require that you upend your whole life and that you have to never eat this food and never eat that food. And good God, you better count your macros or it's all going to go to hell, the whole thing. That's the differentiation. that we need to make. And when we are identifying with the pathology, then the pain will dominate our consciousness. And that pain also looks like nothing ever works for me. I have to work harder than everybody else. My body's different. You don't understand. It doesn't do what you think it does. I don't have that capacity. Like I'm burdened like this. This is my genetic alteration. I've heard this one. You have no idea. My genes just can't do that. That's identification with the pain. I get it. There are genetic tests. Somebody's listening to me saying, but the genes do matter. Okay. But genes are malleable. They can be shifted. Someone said, oh, but not genes for your eye color or your hair color. Okay. Genes for expression of disease, though? Why can't those be shifted? We've seen it. There are people who no longer are type 1 diabetics. There are people who have cancer that has totally gone into remission. There are people who have the genes for, I have like I used to have all the hallmarks for Ayers-Danlov. Doesn't limit me. There are people who have been told they have the genes for cholesterol, but they don't have high cholesterol. It's all about where the emphasis is. Am I thinking that something is like set in stone, can't be changed? I mean, that's cool if you want to believe that, but there's a part of me that hears that and goes, good, why would I choose to identify with that when there's so many other options and options that include me thriving, even if someone thinks it's impossible, even if someone thinks it's set in stone? That's the world I live in. Not everyone wants to live in that world because the truth is it might ask you to change some things. Maybe that's why. But there's a land of infinite possibility. You're welcome to come play there. Because the contrast is I can accidentally create a deep bond with all the disheveled and chaotic things happening, and then those are the only reality that exists. And then I'll have more of that, which is fine, but it's not the reality I want to live in, not the reality that the women I work with want to live in. So it's a choice. And I know that some people don't like hearing that. It's not a choice. But in some ways it is. You know, years ago, I worked in a pain clinic. My first acupuncture practice, naturopathic practice, was in a pain clinic. And I remember asking one of those guys when he was talking about an MRI result, and this is why the person had pain. And I said, I just have to ask you, how many people would have that same MRI result and are walking around with no pain whatsoever? That those very same results do not equal pain for them. And he smiled and he said, a lot. And I said, so can we say that it may not be the physical anomaly that actually creates the pain? And he said, yes, you could say that. He makes millions off of giving injections and, all the special therapies he has. He makes millions off that. But he was willing to admit that the presence of one thing does not have to equal the symptomology, which I would argue is the same for those genetic anomalies. The presence of the genetic anomaly does not have to equal the discord in the body. So it leads us to ask, okay, well then, what's the difference between the person who has the awful experience and the person who doesn't? Because that's where the root is. That's where the thing is that needs attention. And that's what we're talking about. It's about developing a different relationship. And so the question you have to ask yourself is, what have I built the biggest relationship with? The pain, the projected outcomes, the everything that is said in support groups and chat rooms and by doctors who've made themselves specialists in, that's always a trigger, not a trigger, but it's like a warning for me. When someone's like, I am a specialist in chemical sensitivity. I am a specialist in mold. I am a specialist in autoimmune. That actually should send us going, ooh, not that one. Because every time I've ever worked with someone who's worked with one of those practitioners, that practitioner has fed them more certainty that these things are so hard and they don't move And unless you're on point at 1,000%, it's never going to get any better. And even if it does get better, you're always going to have to be on guard the rest of your life. That is not health to me. And so, even that, where is your relationship with the infinite possibility of the unique template that has unlimited solutions of your body? Or is it with the diagnosis and the pain? And are you happy with that? Because if you're happy with it, like, that's cool. But if you're not happy with it, then isn't it time to look through a different set of lenses? The real thing is that you have this trueness, this, we call it your true chi. It's like the essence of you that is unique to you. It's abundant and it has unlimited solutions. And it's actually meant to flow freely in all your cells and organs and systems. And as it does so, it clears blockages and it removes the toxins and it regulates the system and it does it effortlessly. And you're not meant to try to control it because it has an infinite intelligence. You can feel it in people. When I'm doing alchemy sessions, even virtual. Just the other day, awesome. I was having someone find a point on the collarbone and, it's Zoom. You can't see so clearly. And so I just felt in because she's like, am I on the point? And I felt in. I'm like, no, it's a little towards your shoulder. And she was like, oh, that's right. I can feel it now. You can feel the true chi in someone if you have trained your consciousness to be able to do so. When people are on my table, you can feel it. It's like this effervescence beneath the layers of all the stuff that's on top. And for some people, those layers feel like they're 10 miles thick, and for others, less so. And none of that matters because the true chi is still there waiting. And the thing is that I'm not in control of it. So even when I'm working on someone, I'm not in charge of your true chi. I'm just talking to it. I'm helping encourage it to come forward because when it comes forward, it can resolve chronic Lyme. It can resolve mast cell issues. It can resolve chronic infections. It can resolve hormonal issues. That's why it's so powerful because it is the ultimate solution. And it does it with the least possible like aggravation because it's connected to the infinite and it's not limited by what we think the rules of matter and time and space are. And I act as a conduit. I'm a cheerleader. I'm the one who can help bring that forward so you can get a little more taste of it each time. That's what's happening in alchemy, in the work we do in alchemy. It's like you start to feel that within you. And then it's like a remembering, like, well, wait a minute. That's right. There is something here besides disease. And oh my God, let's build more of a relationship with that. I can help access it. I can encourage it. But the healing is when you decide to have a relationship with it. That's when the magic happens. That's when you'll tap the infinite. When instead of placing all the onus on a supplement or a drug or the right homeopathic or, on that specific practice, and you start to develop a relationship with that. You may then use practices to encourage it, but the relationship piece comes first and foremost, before anything else. You're the one that will decide what gets done with this true chi in your life, which is why, too, the alchemy work, the work we do in Thriving Health, which is my container for women who want to learn the totality of doing this work, the tribe, which is a lighter version because there isn't any one-to-one. This is why this is so key and why so many people, too, will end up doing ghost points along their journey because ghost points is there to help you if you cannot find the access point. If you believe it's there, but you're like, I have no idea how to do that. If you're so burdened now by the pain because it's been so big and that is all there is room for a relationship with, ghost points is what allows that unhooking so you can actually feel that true chi. So you can start to build a relationship and then use it in your healing and let it expand and have it become all of you. And that it's like when you start, the pain is this big and your access to your true chi is like this. And as we do ghost points and alchemy and the work in thriving health, what starts to happen is that this happens. And now your true chi is in charge, and the pain and the symptomology and the discord is so minimal that there's always a path through. But we have to do the work to get there because protocols keep encouraging this relationship. Alchemy takes you on the journey of establishing this relationship. And in Ghost Points, where we use 13 points, this is a treatment that has to be done in person, but we use 13 points and it's hands-on, it's no needles, it's this whole relationship building, it's letting the body express, it's letting the body speak, it's truly unhooking infections and organisms, things that have taken you over, the stories of your life, all the ways that it's like, I can't have the life I want. It's unhooking those things so your true chi is accessible so you can actually begin to build the life that you want, the health that you want. It takes practice to do this because you're actually cultivating a relationship. No one has ever built a relationship like overnight, like I did one thing and I'm in a relationship. It takes practice and it takes devotion. But what I can tell you is that the more that you build that, you start to access infinite levels, unlimited healing, unlimited life force, unlimited play, unlimited abundance, unlimited hormonal balance. You can age backwards. Menopause, no issue. Who wouldn't want that? Now, by contrast, real medicine is not protocols to quiet the symptoms. It's not protocols to uproot and kill the infections. It's not protocols to regulate your nervous system. It's not protocols to silence the inflammation or to make things happen. Real medicine is partnering with the infinite life force that has an unlimited ability to create change. One is very limited. The protocol thing is like a little oval, and it's like, and now I have to exist in this little oval. It's like boxing you in. The other is like an unlimited, it's like the size of the universe. Like that's how many solutions you have. So, protocol, universe. Which one would you rather be accessing for your healing? The other one is supplement stacking and protocol chasing and biohacking. It's the people who say, I'm a mold expert. I'm an autoimmune expert. That's over here. Over here is, I'm an expert in helping you access your infinite vitality, which means everything can heal. It's a huge distinction. In alchemical Chinese medicine, there is no boundary on the possibilities of healing. You're working truly with the unlimited. Because of this, what I've seen is like spontaneous remissions. People telling me, like, I don't know how, but all those symptoms are gone. I only did a few treatments. I don't know how, but I suddenly feel completely able to do my life and I don't have to keep spiraling into the same things. I just had someone on my table yesterday who said, in 6 years, the work I've done with you has made more of an impact than the thousands I spent on doctors before who were doing all the protocols. That same person sent me her mother. Her mother had multiple concussions and autoimmune. And her mom said to her, I don't know what she's doing, but I have no symptoms. So I'm just going to keep doing it. That's what we're talking about. Like, we're talking about resolution, not because you're like, oh, I know I did step A, B, C, and D. And then, of course, when the symptoms come back, you try to do step A, B, C, and D again, like it doesn't work because I've been there, done that. But instead, it's like building on something that is actually alive So it just keeps getting better and bigger and stronger. So now you're working with something that is self-propelled and fueled by the infinite, which means as long as you keep cultivating that relationship, where is it going to go? There's cases I work with where people are on zero supplements and they're just doing the alchemy work and the cultivation work of thriving health, and they're massively healing. And there's other cases that are using some supplements. It's not an either or, but that the supplements are the support to this. They're not the core, which is over here. The products are the core. And that's a vast distinction. I'm not special. Like, this is what happens when someone reconnects with their source. You can have this experience if you want it. But that is the key. You actually have to want it. You have to want and be open to transformation happening in your body and your life. You cannot need life to stay in a rigid set of parameters with no change whatsoever, but then want your body to do something magnificent. So check in with that. This attitude is perfect for this world. No, I want it all. Like, could you give me like the magical tour? That's perfect for this. Even very, very, very sick people can have this reconnection. Like, if you feel like nothing works for you, I've gone too far, this is why alchemy exists, because it actually doesn't see a boundary, it doesn't see a limitation. Transformation can still happen. This has just been buried. It needs to come forward. And this is a journey. It's not a one-off. It's not like I have a magic wand and I'm going to wave my magic wand and all your problems will disappear. You're the magic. So it is a journey because if you can imagine, like we're talking about living in a land you've never lived in. So you're going to have to do some learning. That's okay. I promise you it's worth it. So today, think about what have I built more of a relationship with? Your symptoms or your life force? If if you know that your life force is still there, if you trust that it's still there, what would change if you allowed that trust to flourish? If this resonates, comment life force. I'll send you a link to a free visit so we can talk about what you're experiencing, what that looks like, what you want. If this work is for you, if you feel a call to it, subscribe to my channel if you want to have more conversations like this. And there's a multitude of ways to do this. So let's talk. Blessings.